So now we're going to see this part 3 about the description of farm and housing systems. We have decided to describe in both case and reference farms the housing of both dry cows and lactating cows. So in all farms, regardless of the housing system, we are going to describe the housing of all the adult animals, so dry and lactating cows. So the housing for calves and heifers is excluded by this description, right? So let's open this annex. As you can see, the text links you to these annexes, which are collected in the folder 2, annexes 2. Yeah, sorry, let's open up this one. Yeah, so annex 2 for housing description, and this description, as you can see, is divided in two parts. So there is the part 1, which is the building description, and part 2 is pen description, because obviously we need to measure and record different characteristics. Some are for the buildings and some are for the pens. So this is the first fill-in sheet for the building or buildings, in case we have big farms with multiple buildings where lactating or dry cows are housed. So as you can see, you have space for up to 4 buildings. So the first thing you need to do is fill this farm ID cell. So in this example, let's say I'm going to visit the first case farm in Italy. So the code for this farm is going to be ITC, which is for case, and then 1, which is my first case farm, and then there is the surname, right? Okay, so this is gonna be the unique farm ID, which is always necessary in all of these fill-in sheets. So let's say this let's take this very simple example. So this farm has just 1 building for housing the adult cows. Obviously the milking facility will be elsewhere in another building. We don't care that too much, at least for this part. So there is just 1 building, right? So for both dry and lactating cows. So this is gonna be building A, okay, just 1. So okay, so I'm just filling this column. I don't need these other 3 columns. So the first information that I need to fill is the animal type. So here there are lactating and dry cows, so I'm gonna fill that with L plus D. So what's the roof type? Now we cannot really see the roof type by this image in here, so let's take this example, right? So that's a gable roof. So I'm gonna say that's the gable roof. Is the roof transparent? In this case it's not transparent, because that's a conventional building, not a greenhouse. Is the roof insulated? Yes. What's the orientation of the building? Well, that's very important for us. So let's take this example in here. So say this is our building, and this picture is from Google, so it's already oriented. The north is towards the upper direction. So what's the orientation of this building? Well, that's obviously going through so the direction that we are interested in is this main direction. So is the ridge of the roof, the direction on which the ridge lies. Okay, so we can just take this one and move it on the roof just to see that better. So as you can see, this building is oriented from northeast to southwest. Okay, so that's the orientation of the building. Well, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna write down northeast to southwest. Yeah, probably increase that so you can see it better. So what's the other information? We need to measure them directly. So my suggestion is to bring with you a laser distance meter. It can help you a lot with that. So start with this example in here, layout 7. Yeah, so the height of the gutter, we have obviously 2 gutters. Okay, so we are interested in just the side aids of the 2 main sides, so just the 2 longer sides. Okay, so yeah, so these well, that's okay, yeah, so this height in here. Okay, so this is gonna be 5.11 or 10 meters. Okay, this is the height of the other side, which, yeah, well, it depends now, it's AutoCAD, yeah, but it's gonna be 5.1 meters. Okay, so for both the sides. Then what's the height of the ridge? Again, we're going in the middle of the building and measure the height of the ridge, so the maximum internal height of the building. So in this case, gonna be 10.95. So I'm gonna fill up this one. The 2 gutter are 5.1, 5.1. Yeah, and this is gonna be 10.95, right? Yeah. Okay, so here we need to know how many open sides. Again, we are just interested in the main sides, so the longer sides. In this case, all of the sides are open, but I'm just marking 2 because, again, we are interested just in the main sides. Are there curtains on the main sides? In this case, there are no curtains, so I'm gonna say 0. Yes. Is there a ridge vent? Yes, there is a ridge vent. Is this a continuous ridge vent? Yes. So I'm gonna say that's continuous ridge vent. Okay, if you have any note in here, you can write down the note. So move on to the second part of the housing description, which is relative to the pen. So yeah, that's sorry, the second sheet. Again, you need the farm ID here, so ITC1 surname, whatever. Yes, that was one. Yes, so just enlarge that a little bit. So this first column, so we are going to use these 2 columns because we just have 2 pens, right? Just 2 pens. So the first row in here, we need to assign to each pen a code, which is done according to this figure here in the protocol. So the first letter here is for the building. The second character is the number, which is the pen number within that particular building. So in case there are multiple buildings, you will have A, B, C, I don't know, whatever, and then within each building you will have multiple pens. And then you need you can add this description of the type of animals that are in this pen. So in pen 1, as we have seen before in here, so pen 1 is for lactating cows, so this is going to be A1 lact, which stands for lactations, obviously, and there is the pen 2, which is A2 dry, which is for the dry cows. They are both in building A. Okay, so just mark them as A1 lact, lactation, A2 dry. Okay, so these 2 pens within this particular farms and in this within this building in this particular farm have been coded with a unique code. So, and this code will remain the same throughout our observation period. So all of the pens will get the code, and the code is gonna be consistent throughout our observation period.